It was like a dream come true. It's just to like have Josh call me that day and be like, "Are you free? Like, do you want to do Bloodsport again?" Like just like last year when I did Bloodsport, he hit me up, and he gave me that opportunity to make history. I had the first women's match ever in Bloodsport, and then to come back the next year and win the entire tournament again, make history again. And like, I am the only champion of Bloodsport.
What up, though, everybody? This is Kyle, and you are watching Knockouts and 3 Counts. And man, do we got a damn good episode for you tonight, as we are going to be joined by the American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow, fresh off of her match on AEW Dark tonight against Big Swole. Corey, how the fuck are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm doing pretty good. I'm starting to feel the old holiday spirit around the house. Everything's going good. Kids are excited, man. How you feeling today?
Hey, man, I'm excited for this interview. I'm glad to be done for the day because let me tell you, these customers at the motherfucking post office, we just going to leave it at that. You ever hear the term going postal? That shit is a real thing. Just saying. But other than that, man, I'm doing all right. I'm definitely doing all right off of the banger-ass weekend that we had. Between Sunday, you had NXT TakeOver War Games with Pat McAfee and him stepping into War Games. And then on Saturday, we had past guests of the show, Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill, put in the work on OSP, man. There wasn't all these people talking about step up and all this and that and the other. I would say that he pretty well silenced all of those rumors.
Yeah, that was I had made note of it in our conversations and stuff leading up to the fight, but that was a huge step up for our boy Jamal, and man, did he really perform. And not only that, he walked away with that extra bag. He got the extra bag he didn't get the official performance of the night, but Dana said he's cutting him an extra check. And then on top of that, OSP decided he wasn't going to quite hit the scales on the mark, so he got a little bit of OSP's bag too. So I'm sure he ain't too upset about all that.
I mean, getting extra money is never a bad thing, bro. I know you get, I want to say it's like 20%.
Yeah, it was a 20% fine on that in that occasion. I believe it depends on how much the person actually misses weight by. Sometimes it can go up as much as 50%, I believe.
I mean, 50%, man, you are hitting something like that. And then on the wrestling end of things, you had NXT TakeOver War Games, which, first of all, the women really came out and kicked ass in that match. The finish of that match, having Raquel Gonzalez powerbomb this chick in between the two rings through a table. Like, that chick, I'm telling you, mark my words, you heard it here first on Knockouts and 3 Counts. Raquel Gonzalez is going to be like, she's going to be a player for them for years to come. Like, Corey, when we get off this show, I'm going to need you to look this girl up. She's like 6 foot tall, big, stocky, strong chick, beautiful looking girl, but athletic as shit for being a bigger lady, man. Bro, I don't know. It was, I thought that was dope. And then I want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Pat McAfee stepping into the cage?
So, as previously noted on this show, for all you past viewers of previous shows would probably know, I'm a pretty big Pat McAfee show fan. I watch his daily show remote probably 3 times a week. I mostly catch a lot of the clips, but if I'm not catching the clips, I'll watch a full show as well. He's just an entertaining person, so it really doesn't surprise me too much to see him step into that realm, especially seeing how much traction he's kind of gained in the last couple months on his media end. I mean, he's had a ton of high quality guests and stuff like that. So, I mean, he had Triple H on his show a couple months back, and that kind of solidified his move into coming into NXT. So I found it interesting, to say the less.
For all of you guys that are jumping into the live, Lindsay Snow is coming in. She's going to be in probably around 9:15. If you guys got any questions for the American Kaiju, please drop them in the comments and I will get to them in this show. So about the match, for anybody that went into this thinking this was just going to be like this publicity stunt where Pat McAfee was going to get in and he wasn't going to do anything or really take any bumps or anything like that. First of all, to be in a double cage match, it's kind of hard to be in that match and not get beat up to some degree. Like, it's just kind of hard to do.
Right.
Then you take the fact that Pat McAfee climbed to the top of the fucking cage and jumped off the cage. All right. Mm-hmm. Whether he got caught by guys or not, the fact that he had the set to get on top of that bitch and jump off it, and then it got finished by him getting beat by taking the Panama Sunrise and he went through a table. So, I mean, look, man, the man went all out for it. I mean, You can't say much more than that. I think the right people won. I think Undisputed Era needed to win that. But I'm really interested to see what Pat McAfee's going to do, you know, coming out of this, man. Like, it's quite interesting because, I mean, obviously there's not a ton to report on. I mean, obviously he's got his hand in so many different irons.
Oh, man.
The guy's got his show and all that stuff. But, I mean, I definitely think that this isn't the last that we're going to see of Pat McAfee in a WWE setting.
You really think so, huh? You think
I especially after his performance last night, I think we're going to have to see Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee again.
Okay.
I feel like that kind of has to happen, especially with the way that match ended and Pat doing a good job. I feel like you kind of have to.
Yeah, he really did do a good job from what I had seen. He really did. He's somebody that if he's going to do it, he's going to do it. And he's very over the top with his personality in a way, so that it doesn't necessarily surprise me whatsoever that he's, you know, translated well into the wrestling realm. He's got the balls and the mouth to prove it. So, you know,
talking about the mouth to prove it, man, we're definitely going to have to get into this a little bit more. Obviously, like I said, we're just a few minutes away from the American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow, joining us here live on the show. Tonight's a pretty big night if you're a wrestling fan. Okay. It's been probably about 20 years since we've seen any real invasion of any sort between companies. Back when WCW and WWF with the whole ECW thing, all that kind of stuff. Hey, Chris, thank you for tuning in and checking us out. Thank you for checking us out on Twitter. And like we said, man, we're glad you're here to watch. Hopefully we can entertain you a little bit. And like I said, Lindsay Snow will be joining us very shortly. Like I said, though, and Chris, feel free to let us know what you think, man. Obviously, big night for wrestling, man. You got Kenny Omega is going to show up at Impact. He had his world title match with Jon Moxley. Now, Corey, I know you're not, you know, it's been a year and a half that Moxley's been champion. So he's been champ.
Yeah, long. Well,
not a year, maybe not a year and a half, but it's been at least a year. So Moxley goes in to this having multiple title defenses at this point. Don Callis, who self-admittedly, whether it was in New Japan or whatever, Don Callis is the executive vice president of Impact. He's very close with Kenny Omega, calls him his nephew. Don Callis is out there at commentary, comes out with the microphone, real old school, you know, takes a bump, gets the microphone to Kenny. Kenny gives him the old mic drop, hits the pin, they dip, and as they get out, they're telling us, and oh, wait a minute. We've got a special guest with us.
Hey, guys.
How are you? Chris is already in the comments, says he's looking forward to it. And fresh out of her training, we've got the American Kaiju, Miss Lindsay Snow. How the hell are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. No complaints here, you know. It's a beautiful day in Florida. So I'm just
I mean, we could trade you with this cold ass weather that we got here in Detroit. Yeah. I mean,
dude, it's actually like it's cold.
Okay, what is cold to you though?
Yeah.
I'm wearing 2 jackets cold.
All right, okay. What temperature wise are we talking about though?
Okay, you're gonna make fun of me because it's like 54 degrees outside.
Oh
right?
my God. Do you want me to tell you what it was on the damn car thermometer on the way home?
What was
it? Was like, I think when I got in the car, it was like 33.
Oh shoot. Well, okay.
And that's actually
gets
considered
like
nice still at this time of year too.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, when I wrestled Swole, dude, it was freezing temperatures. For sure.
So tell me about that. We're fresh off of your match on AEW Dark. This is your third week strong here on AEW Dark.
Yeah.
We'll start with the match at hand. Tell me about your match with Big Swole. Big Swole is somebody that we got to kick it with for a little bit in Chicago while we were there at StarCast 3 right before she made her debut for AEW. So to see you guys lock it up, it's a pretty cool matchup. What are your thoughts now that you've gotten to see it back?
Man, it was like unlike any other match that I've ever had before, getting to be out there and actually like get to showcase some jiu-jitsu skills and strength as well. I feel like I had a pretty decent showing. And then to be out there with Swole too, man, like she's a bad bitch. So it was definitely like, yeah, it was definitely a hell of a fight, and man, like I just wanted to do it again. Like honestly, like she's sick, so like I want to fight her, like she's tough. Like I gotta like make up for that, like it feels like I got something like that I have to like show her, she didn't get like the best version of me yet,
Well, you got a little bit about. Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was gonna say you got to be the nail, but next time you want to be the hammer, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can't always be the hammer. Sometimes you have to be the nail. This is true, but I'm born to be a hammer. So just waiting to have like that moment where I get to really show the world like what I'm made out of.
So let's talk about that. So I know you've only been wrestling for a few years now, and now you're making quite the fucking scene. Last time we talked to you, you just were starting to get in with NWA. Now we hit a damn pandemic. You're over here winning the damn Bloodsport, showing up on Raw Underground, showing up on AEW Dark, wrestling 3 straight weeks on AEW Dark. I mean, hot damn.
Yeah, dude. Like I was like, when this pandemic started, I was like, man, like I really thought, starting the year off working for NWA, like I thought like, shoot, like this is about to be like a big year for me, right? And then like the pandemic happened and I was just like, oh my God, all the gas I had going up this, it felt like I was going downhill, like I felt like I had like it was like really, really like straight shot, like things were going to work out, everything was going to be great, and the pandemic happened and it was like, like the brakes hit and like it was just like so hard for like so many months, and like even I tattoo as well, so it's like I couldn't tattoo, I couldn't wrestle, I couldn't play jujitsu. I was just like so sad and like so like it was really, really hard on me, and I'm sure it was hard on like everybody, I'm just like being honest about how it affected me. But then like to like turn it around, to like be able to turn it around and have these opportunities come knocking, it was like a dream come true. It's just to like have Josh call me that day and be like, are you free? Like, do you want to do Bloodsport again? It's like, just like last year, when I did Bloodsport, he hit me up, and he gave me that opportunity to make history. I had the first women's match ever in Bloodsport, and then to come back the next year and win the entire tournament again, make history again. And like, I am the only champion of Bloodsport. There aren't any other champions of Bloodsport. So it's like, damn, like, it's just, it's like it makes me speechless. Like the
That's
words
an accomplishment
are like taken from me, because it's like, Yeah, it was
you were the first.
Honestly, like the biggest accomplishment of my entire life. Yeah. And like, that's not speaking lightly about it, you know, like I definitely, like, I cherish that accolade, and I'm honored to be able to make history like so many times in my wrestling career. I feel like I'm getting these amazing opportunities, and people see these things in me that like I've been trying to show people for like the longest time. And now I feel like it's actually like coming to light, and you know, it's starting to pay off, you know, how they say like hard work pays off. So I feel like it's actually like starting to turn around for me. You know, it's just kind of amazing to like start the year off so strong, and then have that huge dip in the middle, and then like finish this year off like now, like this year I worked for NWA, WWE, and AEW. Like I finish off the year having 3 really strong matches, and I got a death match on Sunday. So I'm like, this is like, I'm just like living my dream, dude. Like, I'm like, life, what is life right now? You know, like, it's so wild.
So you totally
I just feel so grateful.
And you totally just like, see, that's why talking to you is fun, because you like totally just knocked right into both of the next 2 things I was going to ask you anyways. So let's start with the first one. And that's that, you know, you mentioned, you know, in 1 calendar year, you've worked with WWE, AEW, NWA, you know, you won Bloodsport. So first of all, with the way that NWA has been going, there hasn't been as much content out from them. What's the current status for you with NWA? Because I know NWA is working with AEW and all that kind of stuff, but I know they've been real silent. So it's been cool to see you get to go do your thing everywhere else. But like you said, you literally have like crossed the gambit. How in the hell did you manage while under contract with NWA to just be all over the place like that?
Oh, dude, I'm not under any kind of contract right now. I'm a free agent. I am like,
nice. I thought like, well, last we talked to you, you were just getting started with NWA, so I didn't know if you were still with them or.
Well, like if the opportunity arises, I wouldn't necessarily throw it to the wayside. You know what I'm saying? Like I love Billy. Like I love getting to work for NWA. It's sick as hell to be like, oh yeah, Billy Corgan's my boss. You know, like you show up to work, whatever. Like, oh shoot. But like, yeah, dude. Like I love NWA. I love that locker room. Like all of the people there were like so welcoming to me, and it felt like, you know, like I felt like I like belonged there, you know. So it's like it's kind of cool to see like those same people in the back at AEW too, you know, because it's like, man, like it's just so weird. Like we keep seeing each other, we keep running into each other, and like it's just like that like litmus test, like that stamp of approval, you know, whenever you keep seeing like the same people and stuff, like you feel like you're doing it right.
Yeah.
So I can completely relate with that.
On. There we go. Cool.
I can completely relate with that to a degree, right? Because when we were in Chicago, I interviewed DDP, and he just sits down like next to us, right, and asked us to interview him. And he looks up and looks down the signs and up and down and up and down. So you guys are a podcast. So you gonna interview me, bro? And I'm like, well, bet, dude. I'm not gonna say no. And it was crazy, right? Because a week later he was on Austin's show, and they literally he asked him all the same shit that I had asked him like a week before. So I'm like, all right, well, I must have done something half-ass okay, because
yeah,
I can totally relate to that kind of thing. So my question too is, so the other part to that question is, okay, so we've talked about AEW, we've talked about NWA. How the hell did the whole WWE thing come to be? And what were your thoughts on the whole Raw Underground thing as a whole?
That was just like a really random thing that just like kind of I don't want to say it fell into my lap, because I feel like that's saying that I didn't deserve it. But yeah, it just like came about randomly, and it was like one of those things that just like kind of like same with Bloodsport, you know, you're just like going to work, doing your thing, working out every day, you know, and then like you get a call one day and it's like, hey, these are your dreams calling. Are you gonna answer? Like, so with like, yeah, man, it just happened, and like everything has just been so like, it's so like serendipitous to like think about how all these things keep happening, and it's like it's just like crazy, you know, like I feel like I just keep doing the right thing, you know, and if I just keep making like those moves, then, you know, good things will keep happening. So yeah, man, it was so random when I got that phone call, and it was like the phone call that like I had kind of like been waiting on since like 2017 when I had my tryout. So I was like, oh shoot, okay, finally, you know, maybe I did something cool that like they're like into or whatever. And then getting to be on Raw Underground, man, I just wanted to get up there. I just wanted to fight. Like I was like, man, like I got Marina here, I've got Jessamine here, dude, like please let me fight these people, because like I've already trained with Marina and Jessamine and Shayna in catch wrestling. So at like CSW in California, and with Josh Barnett too at the UFC gym.
Yep.
So like I've already trained with those ladies, and like I just felt like, oh crap, like Raw Underground was made for me, you know. And then just to be there, and then to like have it just like in front of you, and you want it like so freaking bad, you know, and then it's like, oh nope, you just get to look at this. I was just like,
so
oh,
did they know
God.
So did they know anything about your history with Bloodsport?
Oh yeah, like the day after I won Bloodsport, they canceled Raw Underground. So I was like, great. Like, what the hell? Like, thanks, Shane. I really wanted to do that, and I really wanted to hang out again. So it was like, man.
So before I forget, Chris is asking in the comments for you to let us know where we can watch the death match that you have this Sunday. Where can we find that at? Is it on IWTV?
Yep. That's where it'll be. It's going to be broadcast from the Soundbar in Orlando, and it's going to be so sick.
Who are you taking on?
Me and Neil, what's that?
Who are you taking on in the death match?
Oh, Neil Diamond Cutter.
Oh, I did see that. Yep, I did see that. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Neil is sick. Dude, he's sick. I know that, like, he's got heart, like, you know, he's a honey badger. So it's like, man, like, he gives, like, no fucks, you know? So it's like, I don't know what we're about to do to each other, but, like, I'm pretty sure that we're both going to be a mess afterwards, and I'm gonna need a couple days.
Well,
but you know, like last time.
I was just gonna say, I see you signing up for it, so you must not be too shying away from the whole intergender matches and stuff like that. But I just wanted to kind of get you to elaborate a little more on your thoughts of it all, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially being the fact that it's a death match too. That just kind of like ups the ante that much more, I feel like.
Yeah, it really does. You know, weapons are one thing, but then like when you're getting in there with like light tubes and doors and like panes of glass and like tacks and nails and like doors filled with nails and stuff, it's like maybe I fell in love with death matches like last month. So it's like I want this. Like I'm so stoked on it. Like I know that my family isn't really super stoked that I started doing death matches, but like
I could imagine.
Been like, please don't make a habit of doing death matches. But I'm just like, I see like I'm like, oh, I could use that as a weapon. I could use that as a weapon, you know. And I'm like walking around my tattoo shop, like looking at things that I can use, and like like normal people look at, you know, like kitchen utensils and stuff like that as kitchen utensils. And I'm like, oh, what if I did this? You know, like, what if I use this in my match? You know, like, what if I use like, or whatever? What if I made this crazy weapon, you know? So it's like, I guess there's something wrong with me.
It allows that,
right.
It allows that dark creativity to come through a little bit, you know?
A little bit. It's just like it's like a side of wrestling that I haven't had the biggest part of yet, but like I want to show people that, like, you know, like I don't necessarily I don't want to be like I can't do this type of match, or I can't do that type of match. I want to be seen as versatile. I want to be seen as like, yeah, like she's a bad bitch. Like she'll like mess some people up, like her, like, you know, like I don't want to just be looked at like like an actor, you know, because I'm not acting when I do this stuff. Like this is just me, and like I feel like a lot of people that like get to like see me compete get to see what happens in the ring, which is, it might be a little bit more intimidating if I do that in jiu-jitsu, like in like jiu-jitsu competitions. But like I've had people straight up like ask me like what happens to my, like to me while I'm like going into competition mode and stuff, and like that's basically like what you get when you see me on AEW, you know, like that's me in competition mode. Like I'm so focused right there, like that's what you get, you know. Yeah, man, I just kind of trailed off there.
So I just want to give you a vote of confidence. You said you wanted your shit to look good in the ring. Well, in the comments, past guest of our show, the Dread King Logan, is shouting you out, talking about how much of a fan he is of your in-ring stuff. So clearly you're doing something right. Before we get to what everybody wants to hear about, obviously, and the stuff you've been doing with the AEW stuff, you talked about something else that you and I need to talk about. So we talked about tattoos and your artistic side and all that. For those of you who don't know, we had the whole thing set up to where me and Devin were going to come down there and get tattooed WrestleMania weekend, but then fucking COVID hit and that changed everything. So
that was such a bummer, dude. I was so
we had the whole thing set up. Like I had a whole plan of like I was gonna like have somebody like shoot it while you tattooed us, and then we ask a couple questions, do some different shit. But of course not. It had to be fucking COVID. But my question with that is, I've seen you've been getting to do a lot more artistic stuff. Obviously, all of us have been kind of stuck in with this quarantine and all that kind of shit. So what have you been up to during quarantine to satisfy that artistic itch while obviously still keeping up with your wrestling?
Okay. Well, so I started gilding, which is like the
I couldn't remember what it was called, so I didn't want to be an idiot.
To like a surface. Yeah, so that's what a lot of time I've spent doing is like sign painting and like window painting for like the tattoo shop that I worked at in Zephyr Hills, and the shop that I work at now in Jacksonville, Autograph. And yeah, like I've just been working on that a lot. I also started using, like, some people call it a Cricut, but I call it a cry cut because I think that's better. But it's like this little like a basically like a plotter, and you can cut heat transfer vinyl with it, and that's actually how I've been making my entrance gear. So what you see me wearing on AEW Dark, my tracksuit jacket, I made all that. Like the back patch says Kaiju Power, and it's got I drew like Godzilla's face and I put it on the Versace logo. So it's like Versace Kaiju, and then yeah, I got like Kaiju on my on the front of my sleeve, and then like on the hand there's like a Florida, and then like my autograph, the shop logo, the autograph logo. And then like I think I put like a Rolex, like a little Rolex logo on my like wristwatch, and like just like little hidden stuff like all over. There's like a little snowflake on my front pocket. But like, yeah, I've been using, like, I've been making a lot of tracksuits lately with like heat transfer vinyl and like drawing designs and stuff, and just like printing them out. I actually made Alex Gracia, I made her a sweatsuit the other day. So like I've been like, it says like Pink Dream on it, and it's got like a cute little heart. Like it was pretty fun. But yeah, like those are like the artsy things that I've been doing. You know, I'm tattooing still, and pretty much like, yeah, it's almost back to normal. Like you know, we have to like make our appointments like a amount of time apart, so that we have like time to like sanitize and stuff like that. So like I'm not having like my full tattoo schedule back, but I obviously, like, I can't handle a full tattoo schedule right now with all the wrestling that I have going on and all the training that I need to be doing. So it's like I don't know, it's like just I'm kind of like pretty evenly balanced right now. I know like a lot of people might look at my workload and be like, what, like, when do you sleep? And the answer is I don't sleep.
So we got a question for you in the comments. Chris wants to know, do you sell any of your designs?
Oh yeah, totally. Like, and if you want to get something made by me too, like if you want like an original or something like that, you just got to like contact me, and we can talk about like the details and stuff like that. If you want something like drawn for you or for like a loved one for like Christmas or something like that. And like I do like woodcuts too, which is like basically like I like paint on like a piece of wood and like cut it out with a saw and stuff. So I make like a lot of weird stuff all the time. Like I'm just constantly like making stuff. Like
that's where the dopest shit comes from, though.
Dude, I'm in Hobby Lobby more than like y'all's grandmas. Okay, like me and the old ladies in the craft store, we kick it. We kick it on a daily basis.
All right. So speaking of tattoos, what was your first tattoo? Why did you get it, and how old were you?
Okay, so I was a bad kid. I found an ID on the ground at school, and it just so happened to look enough like me that I left during lunch that day and got a tattoo when I was like 15 years old. And that's like my first legal tattoo. You know, like I had tattooed myself like previously, like, but it just like it wasn't like a real tattoo, you know, like it didn't stay or anything like that. But yeah, so I went and got
don't feel so bad about that because mine was 14.
Oh, nice, you got me beat. But yeah, it was an atom of carbon, because like I was a big nerd too. Like I was a bad kid and a nerd, like I don't know. So like I got an atom of carbon because like we're all carbon-based life forms. And for some reason I was like, oh yeah, like that'll be awesome. I need that. And then like I went to like show my science teacher, and he was like, what did you do? But yeah, that was my first tattoo experience, and it was by my friend. Well, it was by a guy that I actually became really good friends with, who just recently passed away. So it's like really, really sad, but I'm just like really thankful that I got to like become friends with this like spirit, you know, like Charlie Frank is his name. And yeah, he was just like a total spirit, dude. Like, you know, like you meet people and you're just like, man, like
you just vibe
with know, like yeah. And it's like Thomas, like he's always like telling me like oil finds oil, you know, and it's true, you know, like whenever people just like they just get along so well, like you always find, you know, your oil, you know. So yeah. I don't know, just to like be able to have my first tattoo done by him, and then like just to be able to become friends with him later in life, and then like know him, you know, his entire like the rest of his life was is a pretty crazy thing to think about.
That's, you know, dope.
Yeah.
All right. So since I told you I had you beat, I think it's only fair that I tell the story of my tattoo. It's funny because you train as well. Mm-hmm. I've been boxing since I was 13 years old. The first time I had a fight was when I was 13.
The boxing gloves, Kyle. The boxing gloves. I forgot all about the boxing gloves.
See, he knows about the boxing gloves. You see there? He knows about the boxing gloves.
Oh, God.
All right. So here's full disclosure. All right. So I was 14 years old. The only reason why my mom let me get the tattoo is because she didn't think I had balls enough to do it because I hated needles. She's like, all right, go ahead, book the appointment. You won't do it. So it was a guy that I trained with, and he was like, you got to make sure that your mom's cool with it or I'm not doing it. And,
yeah.
Right. So like there was the whole thing with that. And so we go there and we did it at his house. He lived in a trailer. So we did it there. And me and Joseph got tattooed the same day. And I got boxing gloves on my right shoulder blade, and it was the funniest thing in the world because, like, at first it's like I feel like everybody can agree on this. I feel like your first tattoo is never your best tattoo unless you just go to somebody who's like just dope, especially if you go to somebody when you're younger too.
Okay, so I really want to see it now. Like you gotta like.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's one of those things. So, like, at first you're like, oh, shit, this is dope. I got a tattoo. Yeah. And then, like, when I actually started to get, like, really nice stuff done, it's fucked up how you go back and look and you're like, it doesn't look horrible, but you see like the difference, right?
Oh,
you see the difference in the artwork quality and all that, and you're just like, fuck.
But it's the story though. It's the story, you know, like now, like you know, like my body is like super covered right now. So it's like, you know, I just got like little spots left, and it's like, man, like I really want to get something here or there or whatever, but now I just want to get stuff by my friends, like people that I love, you know, people that I care about, and like just like little, like, because like I really don't have like a whole lot of big spots left, so it's like now I'm just like focused on like getting stuff that like has a good story, you know. So it's like I that's all I care about. Like I just want to like go do stupid shit with my friends.
No, I totally can relate, because no matter what tattoos I get, even the one that I'll eventually get from you if we ever can get out of fucking Corona, my favorite tattoo is always going to have to be the one on my bicep. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's my grandpa's glasses, and then it's got like, I had the guy sketch them off my grandpa's actual glasses. So that one is always going to be my favorite one, because it's ironic too, because my grandpa fucking was like your classic Polak, like everything, like straight collar, like he was a funny son of a bitch, but man, like when it came to like tattoos or like, you know, coloring your hair different or whatever it is, like he was super like straightforward. So I remember when I got my first tattoo, I remember him looking at my mom like, you're really going to let him go do that shit? Like, and then to think that now I have a tattoo that's memorializing him on my bicep. I always wondered what he thought, but I would at least like to think that out of all the things I could have chose, he had the same old man aviator glasses. Doesn't matter if he got new ones or not. That's why I got that tattoo, because like you said, it's the story, right? So I'm like, I just want something that when I look at it, or anyone that knows him looks at it, they're going to look at it and be like, oh shit, I get it. Anyone that knew my grandpa, Corey, you knew my grandpa. That motherfucker always had the Johnny Knoxville looking aviator old man glasses.
Yeah.
Like, so awesome. I'm with you.
That's awesome.
All right.
One thing real quick, since you kind of touched on it, Kyle, with your grandpa not necessarily being a fan of tattoos, and since you're absolutely covered in them, saying literally I'm struggling to find places to place more. I kind of want to get your thoughts on what's your thoughts on the world kind of growing more acceptable? It seems like the grandpas of Kyle are kind of starting to fade away, and it seems like 20, 30 years ago, I'm sure somebody as even half covered as you couldn't even walk into a store without getting 30 different looks. And nowadays, I'm sure you still get quite a bit of looks, but not even a tenth to the degree that it was before. I'm kind of just wondering, like, what your thoughts are on like the social acceptability of like being completely tatted up at this point, you know?
Yeah. So it's weird, you know, like I told you, like I spent a lot of time in Hobby Lobby with the grandmas and stuff, right? So like this one time, like a couple weeks ago, I was in Hobby Lobby, and this like older lady, she might have been like 75, 80, something like that. She's like, well, I know that tattoos on your arms are called sleeves, but what the hell you got going on? And I was just like, scuba suit. she just like accepted that as an answer, and like bless her little heart, she just was like, oh okay, yeah. Like just walked away, like she's like, that's totally normal, okay. But like you know, like it is kind of strange though, because like when I first started getting tattooed, you know, girls didn't have a lot of tattoos, and girls didn't really do tattoos, so it's like you know, it's like super outlaw for me to want to get into this, and then like just like keep doing it, and then like to just like be more and more covered, and then like, you know, like it's kind of like the same thing with the mask, you know, like if somebody saw me putting on a mask before I went into like went into like a building or something, like went into a bank, they see me putting on a mask for like right before I go in, like 8 months ago, like I would have got shot, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, cool.
He's trying to rob us.
Yeah, exactly. And like being covered in tattoos too, you know? So it's like I'm putting on a mask, going to the store, covered in tattoos, and all these old ladies are like trying to talk to me now. So it's like, it's weird how the world has turned, like all backwards, and like I don't know, it's like it is becoming like way more socially acceptable to be tattooed, and like more and more people are getting tattooed like at an older age too. So it's not like it's just for like young people, you know, like I've done like a bunch of like older people's first tattoos ever, like, and they're like over 70 years old, you know, like, they've got skin like paper. Like, it's so difficult to tattoo, but damn it, I want them to like feel like they're young again, you know, like it's all like a matter of taste and personal views and stuff like that, because like, you know, like I still get older people that do like to like kind of like try to judge me in public, you know. Like I've had an older gentleman on like, you know, like one of those scooters, like just like give me like the most disgusting looks, you know, and be like, what are you gonna do when you're 80, you know? And I'm like sitting there thinking, you know, probably do the same shit you're doing, you know, accost the youth for their lifestyle choices. Like, so it's like, you know, like you can always like have a better way to look at things and understand that like, yes, not everyone is gonna be on the same page that you're on with like what you want to do with your body and stuff like that, you know. People judge me for like going to the gym all the time and like how my muscles look, and like I have a tattoo on the side of my head, you know. I get judged all the time, but like it's one of the things, it's like people are way nicer to me, you know, than a lot like on the internet, especially because like people can be so mean on the internet, right? Because like they don't have to actually like talk to you or see you, you know, like in person. They can just like, you know, be behind their computer screen, and like a lot of people that I've talked to, a lot of people that I've talked to have you know, have had a lot of really, really terrible people try to attack them online and stuff just because they're in the spotlight. And I don't think that that's right at all. But for me, I've had like so many positive responses, and I feel like that's wild to me, you know, like covered in tattoos, you know, a tattooer as well, and then like muscles and everything. So it's like it's really strange to me that I'm the person that people are nice to, you know. So it's like, man, you got like all these like super cute like pretty girls, like you got Velvet, you got Danny, you know, and like people say mean shit to them all the freaking time, and I'm just like, how, you know, like these girls they're beautiful, they're great wrestling, you know. And it's just like, but then like people look at me and then they say nice shit to me, and I'm just like, okay, are you scared of me? Because you should be, but like is that why you're nice to me? Like,
I was gonna say you took the words out of my mouth, because Corey and I have had this conversation so many times over the years, because as I mentioned, I've been training for a long time, and as you can attest to, I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe this is just on the guy's side of things, but for me, I always thought it would be dope to be dating somebody that trained. I don't know why. Just always thought that. I thought that would be cool. But it's one of those things where it's like you said, I don't know, man. I've been around this stuff for a long time, so it's like the looks that you see women get because they got muscles, or because they can fight, or because they got a black eye, or because any of that shit. I feel like dudes that act all soft about that, you're scared because you're worried that they're gonna whoop your ass, is what I think. That's what I personally think. Because to me, I think completely. I don't know. That's always the vibe I've gotten off it. It seems like they're more insecure with it than anything. But that leads perfectly into something that I had to ask you after watching last week's match that you had with Ivelisse. I don't know if you peeped it, but speaking of tattoos, when Excalibur and Taz were talking about your tattoos during the match, it sparked the fucking tattoo debate. So and Excalibur got shut down when Taz was like, I got a lot of tattoos, you just can't see them. So I'm going to pose this question in two different ways. Number one, we'll go with the easy one since he's got ink first. If you could tattoo anything on Taz, what would it be and where? And I'm going to pose you the same question to Excalibur since he doesn't have any tattoos. I'll let you answer both of those questions.
All right. Well, Taz actually I talked to him last week about getting tattooed. So I'm gonna put that one on the back burner, and then you're just gonna have to see what happens with that. But I didn't really show him that yet. The FTW right there.
Oh shit. He'll be your biggest fan then.
All right.
You just got to hurry up and have somebody color some orange in around it or some shit.
Right? He loves orange. That's his color.
That's why I'm saying hurry up, get you a couple little extra points, you know, do your deal.
Right. But like for Excalibur, man, like he would need Excalibur tattooed on him, right? Like the sword and the stone Excalibur.
I feel like it's either got to be that or a mask.
Yeah, one of the two.
One of the two. Either one I feel like would work. I think. I don't know, man. I heard that and I'm like, holy shit, this would be like the perfect fucking question to ask, because I figured I can't wait to see what you do with the Taz thing, just because I feel like you're gonna end up putting something dope together with that. So I'll leave that one for you. But I heard that and I'm like, oh shit. I'm sure she's gonna have some dope ass answer on this one, so I'm gonna leave this one out.
It's already in the works, brother. It's already in the works.
See there. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Well, now that we're on the subject of AEW, let me know a little bit about how that came to be. Now, was that something because of the partnership that they had with NWA? Or were you already kind of cool with them like that? How did that come to be? And what were the reviews you got after the first week you were on there? Because clearly they liked what they saw, because you've been back 2 weeks since.
Yeah, man, AEW has been like such an amazing experience. Like I said, like everybody in the back is chill. It was a very random thing as well, you know, like just like everything that happens in my life. But yeah, man, it was just like timing was perfect. I live in Jacksonville, and it is like they've been here for a minute now, and I'm just like, man, like they know I'm here. Do they know I'm here? You know? And then so like I reached out. And I just, you know, I was like, hey, like, I don't know who to talk to, but can I come train? And like, they're like, oh, yeah, like, why aren't you here already? And like, it was just like one of those, like, this is like, you know, it's perfect. Like, I was already there. It doesn't cost them any money to bring me in. You know, I'm like, I don't have to travel. My shop is 15 minutes from Daly's place. And so it's like, it's just like a no-brainer, you know. It's like, oh, okay. And then you know, the first time I was there, I didn't get a match, you know, so it was like I just got to be in the crowd for Dynamite. And you know, that was an amazing experience. I was just like, holy crap, like this is awesome, you know, like I get to like be a part of something so cool. Judas, and man. Like yeah, dude. Who doesn't, right? Like when Judas comes on, like who doesn't sing it? Like it's such a banger. But like,
that's what I'm saying. I gotta give credit where it's due. A lot of guys, when they come out with music, the shit sucks. But I had Corey listening to it on the way when we went to go to XICW, and he's like, I can't even hold you up. I really didn't think this was gonna be that good, but it's really not bad.
No, Jericho knows what he's doing. So like, okay, so then, you know, the next week I get to go back, right? And I'm so excited that I get to go back again, you know? And like, I'm looking at the board, you know, I'm like, oh man, I hope they give me a match, you know? And I'm like, oh, I didn't get a match again, you know? So it's like, dang, you know? So I'm like in catering, and I'm like, you know, eating some mac and cheese and like eating my feelings, you know? So it's like, I got like double mac and cheese, and I'm like, just finished the mac and cheese, and I'm like, take a big bite of this cookie, and then one of the refs comes up to me and he's like, you got a match. And I'm like, oh, this cookie automatically doesn't taste good anymore. And I was like, I need to find a bathroom. Like, I need to find a bathroom. Because it was just like, it hit me out of nowhere, you know? And I was like, okay. And then, you know, it was with Thunder Rosa, so it was just like, oh shit, yes. Like I got this, you know? And then like just like getting to like have that experience with her too, because it's like, man, like I'm finding that NWA women's champion. So it's like, this is like surreal, like that this is my first match in AEW, and I'm like, this is like the caliber of woman that they're putting me up against, you know? And I didn't shit the bed, so they were like, come back.
That's gotta be a hell of a damn pressure going into it, much less against somebody like Thunder Rosa. Luckily, didn't you guys just face each other at Mission Pro like right before that?
Yeah, like a month prior to AEW, we had a match, or maybe like a month and a half prior. We had a match at Mission Pro, and I think like we went for like 25 or 30 minutes or something, like crazy long time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was just like, this couldn't have been like a better opportunity for me. You know, it's like, not only are you giving me somebody that I literally just wrestled, but you're putting me on this pedestal, which was like a super cool thing for them to book me against her like that, you know, and then to like keep handing me like next like top level opponents. Like, I just feel like it's been like a test, and you know, they have brought me back, so hopefully, you know, things keep going in this direction for me. You know, I'm just like, I'm training super hard, I'm working super hard at it, and I feel like they're looking at you know, at something about me, you know, whether they just want to get tattooed by me or like what.
I mean, either way, if they're watching you or getting tattooed, you're getting bread off them, so it's all good.
Right.
Well, that kind of
it's a win-win situation too.
Those are the best kind of situations.
It
Right.
kind of goes back to
Corey.
kind of goes back to one thing I was going to say earlier is, you know, it's not only opportunity that you're getting, it's the fact that you, like you said, you keep answering the phone, you keep making these phone calls that you got to do to get your name out there. You know, if you show up the first time and things don't go your way, you're still going to show up a second time to try to get what you're going for. You know,
dude, this is my dream, and like, there's nothing that can stop me from showing up and doing the work. You know, it's like, this is what I want, and I'm gonna prove to everybody that needs to be proven to that, like, I am a machine. Like, I'm literally a machine, and like, I just am waiting to be able to showcase that.
All right, so a good question to go off of that. We've got one more question for you in the comments. Chris asked again, is there anybody now that you've been doing your thing with AEW in particular that you'd like to lock it up with?
Serena Deeb.
That would be a hell of a match. I would very much so like that one. Corey, you would be a big fan of that one too, because the mat wrestling in that one would be fun to watch. That, you know,
Dude,
and before we get out of here, I'd be remiss if I don't bring this up. Okay, so obviously, as you guys saw, if you're following us at KO3C Pod or me at Detroit Knockout, I was doing my research before we got on here. I was rewatching Bloodsport. And just for any of you assholes that are going to be in the comments and say, well, he probably just bought that the day of. No, I watched it as it happened. But my question to that, hey, man, I was a big fan of that stuff anyway. And then after we got to kick it with you anyways, like I said, that's just how we roll this way. Everybody might not be that way on these shows that you come with, but if you're going to take the time out of your schedule to come mess with us, the least I can do is show a little bit of support in return. So, just saying. But my question with that is, like, you know, you really got to show off your grappling prowess. As we mentioned, you know, you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner yourself. If I'm not mistaken, you've got 3 stripes on your blue belt. So, it froze up. But yeah, I know you have your blue belt. You know, you got to do the heel hook and all that. What'd you say?
Yeah, I forgot to bring my gi and my belt to training yesterday. Because like it was like super last minute, so all I had was my no-gi stuff, because like I always carry my no-gi stuff in the car because I'm a weirdo. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have my gi with me, so I borrowed somebody's gi and belt for a picture. But I am a blue belt, and yeah.
Hey, don't feel bad. I'm in the bad spot of, okay, so we threw a party with our friends from Breaking Down the Ring for SummerSlam. It was not the last one, but the one before. Some dickhead we were in Detroit. I mean, and don't any of you guys that are going to watch this in post, no, this does not mean you can't be safe in Detroit, assholes. But we threw a party for SummerSlam. Somebody busted into my car and took, of all things they could have took, they took my guitar, and somehow out of all the shit they got, they stole my purple belt. Like, what the fuck? What are you going to do with my purple belt? You probably didn't even know what the fuck it was. So it's funny as shit. I went in to go train about
maybe they thought it was a guitar strap.
I mean, maybe now that's a good theory.
Maybe
I didn't think
it was
of
a guitar
that.
strap.
See, that's a good theory. See, I actually didn't think of that one. But I'm just like, what the fuck? Of all things, you could steal my belt. And then the worst of it is I can't train regularly because I work with my schedule at the post office and shit. So it's fucked up. I went to go train about a week and a half ago. And I go in there and they partner me up with this kid. And like, he's trying to be respectful. And he's thinking that I'm some white belt because it was no-gi day. And I'm like, yeah, we start rolling and he quickly realizes that I'm not a white belt. Yeah. And my coach is like, well, it's okay. Collison's been around for like 30 fucking years. And like, so I always get shit because I got a white belt or a blue belt on. And it's fucked up because I know this music is right up your alley. We had something set up to where Zoltan from Five Finger Death Punch was supposed to come on with us because he trained with one of my coaches. And it was funny because we did like a little teaser video. The interview fell through, but we did like a teaser video. You can see it on our YouTube. And we did this whole thing with the belt. And I'm like, man, this fucking sucks because these people are going to think I'm a white belt still. And I'm like, God damn it.
Dude, right? Yeah. I don't ever wear a belt, So it's like, because I always do no-gi. But like, yesterday I showed up to practice and Pedro, he was like, oh, you didn't bring your gi? And I was like, no. So like I got the shitty, like the mat gi, like the one that somebody had left there like 8 years ago. All the like just like some random ass white belt. That was like, but like, dude, like it was just so funny to me because it was so big and I was just like, oh my god. But like, yeah, I showed up and like I'm wearing the white belt, and like everybody's like at first, treating me like I didn't know anything. It was funny. It's funny whenever you don't wear, like, you basically, like, I didn't want to sandbag anybody, so I was just like, oh, I don't really play in the gi, so it's like I don't mind wearing the white belt or anything like that because it doesn't really, obviously, like when you get belts, it does mean something too. Sure. But like but it doesn't it's not like an ego thing for me to have to wear. Yeah. So it's like, it was just funny to me because like I like show up and I like don't have a gi and stuff, and then like I have to borrow the gi and then I have to borrow the white belt, and like, so it's like everybody's like, oh, this girl doesn't know what she's doing, Well, so then like, I just want to say how much I appreciate your time. I didn't even look at the clock. They're giving us the go home cue. I'm going to have to tell you when we get off of here the story of when I went to American Top Team and didn't have my belt and forgot my gi, and they all realized that I had trained, and they're all looking at me like they didn't want me to like beat this kid up, and they're like, we appreciate you being respectful. But if you guys are new to Lindsay Snow, what the fuck are you doing? Let them know where they can find you on social media, and make sure you check out AEW Dark that just aired today at 7:00. So go check that shit out if you haven't already done so. Y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaiju Power, KAIJUPOWER. And I got Kaiju coffee and Kaiju tea. Devin bought a whole bunch of that. I forgot to ask about that. Yeah, it's okay. I slipped it in there. We're good. See there? Until next time, and in the in-between time, we thank you for your time, Miss Lindsay Snow, and all of you guys that were watching. Until next time, peace. Thanks, guys. Thanks.